Hello, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin. These wonderful people I'm going to introduce in a minute. But first, we have to introduce the game. Tonight, it is my Friday. I know it's Sunday, and it could be any day of the week, whenever the hell you're watching on YouTube. But for the moment, let's get back to this. We are going to be playing a version of Dungeons & Dragons tonight that may look vaguely familiar to some people. We are going to play it in Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice. The character art was done by Hero Forge. The in-game art is mostly from the module, and there's also a fair amount of Pixabay art in backgrounds and other sorts of bits and pieces. Many of the much of the overlay work was done by our in-house artist, Thunderscape7, and I think that's all of them. With that, let's introduce the people in this crazy, ridiculous version of what we did. Well, that's what I was going to say. We're almost playing D&D, and we are nowhere close to anywhere near anymore playing Storm King's Thunder. We're using the maps, and there's some characters I'm probably going to use, and lots of other stuff that we're going to do, but yeah, we've left the rules as written version of that in the dust. The people that have helped me do so, I shall now introduce. I knew there was a segue in there somewhere. I just had to keep talking. Let's start with Sarah. Oh, we'll get to what Idicus is up to in a minute, but when you're not rushing off into the darkness by your tiny green self, what are you doing elsewhere?
I have my own production company. So Tango Productions on Location is where we do all of our behind the scenes stuff and lots of other fun stuff. And Tango Productions is where we put our films. And I'm also a writer at thescarredadventurer.com. Absolutely.
You're also, we might as well use this as an opportunity to expose this to the world, also have agreed to run, well, you tell us. I'm not going to take your thunder. You tell us. You agreed to do a thing on this channel. Tell them when.
What is it?
And what?
On October 30th, the night before Halloween, I'm running a game of 10 Candles.
Woo!
A tragic horror game.
Everybody dies, and it's awesome. I was in last year's, and I died, and it was amazing. And I'm very much looking forward to it again. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got another one-shot coming up, but we're going to introduce that next week because we don't want to pile them all together. But speaking of content that has somebody other than bloody me in the GM seat.
Oh, hi.
Hey, thank you for the raid. Got here just before we got started. Give me a couple more minutes and we will be underway. But we just introduced the one-shot that we've got coming the day before Halloween by our one and only Sarah, a game of 10 Candles, where she will gleefully, I watched it last year, kill everybody in the game. Oh, it's so much fun to watch you run a game and just go, you die, you die, you die, you die, you die. It's so much fun. So absolutely tune in for that. We do have another one coming a week before that, but yeah, details to come, because there is another announcement. I kind of made it last night, but it's a different night, so let's do it again. And one of the people in charge of it is here. Another night of me not as the GM. In this case, also not even as a player. Last night was the final episode of Cathedral Deep. They won. That's all you need to know. Go watch the videos. And that means that Saturdays have freed up. So instead of 6 p.m., we're going to start doing 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time with, hey, Scarred Adventurer, why don't you tell them what's coming?
Oh, what is going to be coming is a wonderful world of superheroes, and mostly that. It's going to be featuring some lovely people we don't get to see on the channel a lot.
Not for a long time.
It'll be, not for a while at least. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a game of Masks: A New Generation, written everything except for the rules and the characters, pretty much written by me in a sleepless haze. Trying to go, and this will go together, and this will go, and then we add these two, things like that.
Oh, yes.
I'm greatly looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to do it. It'll be a big step for me, doing a big long campaign for the first time.
Yeah, because it's gonna it's 8 weeks.
It'll be 8 episodes.
Yeah, 8 episodes. Yeah. There's a brief break around the holiday season of Halloween. But yes, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just going to be producing, which means I get to sit here and watch, which is going to be amazing.
And the best part is we already have the first episode up on YouTube, so please be sure to check it out.
Yeah, there's Heroes a playlist and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then tomorrow, and we will start on Saturday. We will start Heroes 101 again. Second lesson.
Second lesson,
or whatever we'll call it.
We'll retroactively have to name the first one opening day or something. We'll just change it. Nobody will know. Yeah. Anyway, like that day at university when you show up and you never don't actually go to any classes, but you have somebody that actually knows their way around show you where to go later.
Disorientation.
Disorientation. That's the one. Yeah. Follow the orange shirt. They know where they're going. Okay. Anyway.
And lastly, not related to that announcement, I run the ScarredAdventure.com, which was briefly mentioned by the wonderful Sarah, one of our contributors on that website. The thing is, I am going to have to make a very angry phone call tomorrow to fix the website. So don't bother putting that link up in the description, because I am not happy with them at the moment. I'll fix things.
Yes. All right.
But
so look at that tomorrow. They should be watching this tonight anyway.
Haiku about marshmallow people.
Marshmallow people. Yes. I cannot possibly use that as a segue. So with no segue whatsoever, Beowulf played for us by Solar Dasher. Hello. Finish your laugh. Go ahead.
With things fluffy and white. And
yeah.
Sorry. I shouldn't have.
So, have you had a chance to stream this week? They keep promising you time, and then you keep not getting it.
I'm getting there. I could have yesterday, but I just didn't have the oomph, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been a long week. Hopefully next week will be a lot more calm, gentle.
And
but
for
anyway,
the next...
you can find me when I do stream here.
Perfect.
You can also reach out to me on Twitter. Well, I do have Twitter too, but I was trying to say Discord. Okay.
Yes.
I think I need sleep. I think I
well, use of the sleep.
We will get you some sleep right after we get you a couple of hours of distraction from your busy week.
Oh, definitely. And yes, Beowulf has a friend.
Yes.
A friend.
Yeah.
This one is for when he is in his human form, and the bigger one I had last week is for when he's in his wolf form. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens later tonight, I suspect. And that brings us to the done this to me several times guy. Bison Stonefist. First, give us your social particulars, and then then expose yourself. There. At least I got that much in.
Well, speaking of exposing myself, I used to play with my balls on Cathedral Deep.
Yes.
That show is unfortunately over. Other than that, you can find me on my Twitch, which I am throwing in there right now.
And while you do, I will mention we also watched you play with your balls in Corsairs of the Cosmos.
Yeah, that's true.
And several one-shots if we could.
Only one of the same balls.
Yes, yeah.
But
and if that sounds incredibly rude to everybody, go watch all the videos on YouTube. No, they're rude, but not because it's ball jokes.
Yeah, I mean, he played with his balls, but also don't forget about his big bone.
Yes, that's where it started, actually, to be fair.
Oh yeah, that's true.
His big golden bone. Anyway, you done typing now? Good, we can move on. All right.
That's my Monday nights. I play Control. After that, I'm trying to figure out what I want to play. There's a couple of games that are on my list.
Yes.
But yeah, I play just video games. Right now it's Control. It might be Alan Wake. Next time it might be American Truck Simulator. Fuck, it might be Pillars of Eternity too.
Well, whatever it is, that's Monday. And this ain't Monday. This is Sunday. So, if you would, even I haven't seen it, if you would be so kind.
Today I be introducing Allbeard, the Bugbear Buccaneer. Arr, talk like a pirate.
It is in fact Talk Like a Pirate Day, and I completely fucking forgot. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it was completely worth the wait. Thank you so much.
Ye be welcome.
Bugbear Pirate. Oh man, that's the. It's not a patch. It's just a mat of hair. Just one ear, just folded down over the eye. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, that's enough of that foolishness. Let's get to the official foolishness, to the actual in-game foolishness.
Arr.
Arr, let's do that indeed. There, I pirated. We're done.
I pirate every day, but you know, that's just me watching TV.
That's... Oh, he's a disco pirate. That's a completely different thing.
That be from the I'm still feeling the drugs from last session.
All right.
You know, it's party time.
All right, so let's start. Yeah, let's bring the folks up to date. I don't often do recaps but I'm gonna tonight because it sounds like the punchline for the setup for a joke. Bigford, who is now convinced he's at a pirate rave,
I'm a party pirate.
and also thinks that he's about this big because he's dancing on a table and it's huge and he's tiny, so somebody must have shrunk him. There's a big blue icy thing over here that's reflecting light all over him as he dances fiercely. In the adjacent but very still 140 to 150 feet away, 50 meters away distance at the base of a statue. Standing on a face still of the statue, or are you at the base of that statue?
I tried to jump off to catch the thing. I'm
okay.
On the
So
ground.
you're on the ground. Yes. Creature, you have not had a good day either, but you're not at the moment. You're not drugged. You are standing in this common room, and you have just realized that Idicus is gone. Beowulf, you're a giant. You're a frost giant. You're in a big six-sided room. Bunch more statues and a frozen, apparently dead frost giant on the floor. You can see a magic circle through the ice that covers the inside of this room. You don't have the big giant weapon anymore. And Idicus, which is where we're going to start. Way up here in the corner of the map. A huge distance away from any of your friends. Worryingly, Idicus, you weren't paying attention when you came in. You often don't. And somewhere way long time ago, somebody told you that you should, and you didn't. Now you feel like you're going to get in trouble. Upon thinking that you're going to get in trouble, you start thinking about all the people that keeps running to your rescue over and over and over. And even in your little goblin warforged mind, they're not coming. You are as big as Bickford thinks he is. You know you're only one goblin tall, even though you're made out of metal. And this spider that it's in front of you, even if it put its big belly ball on the ground, it would still be 5 or 6 goblins tall. Its head, its sort of head and 4 parts, are almost as big as you. Its big claw, poison dripping mandibles are almost as long as your arm. You could do this, you can't see my legs, on the big red hourglass on its belly. You have no idea which tunnel you came in. What? For the first and certainly not last time tonight. Idicus, what do you do?
Does it look like it's sentient at all or no?
Oh, sentient, aware, and moving towards you with malice. it comes around the pillar in this room, swishes around, and in your night vision, you see all of it I just described, but sort of in shades of gray because it's only night vision. But the fear put the red on the hourglass, and it turns out you happen to be right. But yes, it's 8 beady little eyes all lock onto you. And then you realize they don't. Its head keeps moving, and then it stops, and then starts to move towards you.
He's immediately putting away Fred, pulling out his bow, and I'm aiming for just one of the eyes.
Okay. Wow. Idicus waits till nobody's looking. The point I was just trying to get across is it has it has terrible vision, but it has tremor sense, so it cannot see you in any way as long as, but it can literally hear your heart beating. You're a warforged. It heard you creaking.
Heart cogging.
Yeah, it heard you creaking. But anyway, you draw your bow, and it is absolutely going to count as a sneak attack. In fact, I will give you advantage on it. Because nobody expected it, not even a spider. 25. Wow. Okay.
Idicus can fight when need to be.
Idicus, you loose the arrow, and it hammers into that big body at the back, and you see it start to almost deflate. And this juicy ooze starts to come out, and the area around it starts to wrinkle like a beach ball that's getting cold inside, and it's starting to shrink. The spiders don't make any noise, but you can see that whole side of its body just... And you can hear the chitinous plates grinding against each other as it tries to close the wound. And the head comes up again, and you see it's pointing at you with this sort of array of sensors on the front of its face. And the mandibles, they were dripping poison before. It's now almost like faucets.
Oh, jeez.
And it starts to move towards you at speed. It's going to be here. You've got 2 turns. It'll be on you.
Hide.
Yep.
And run.
Okay. Yes, you just how do you hide?
If there's possibly like a pillar or like anywhere inside the pillar that I can see that's like a little like cubby hole.
Kinda nearly. You could run over behind one of these towers and get out of sight, and then okay. So give me a stealth. 15. Ooh. Let's let the dice decide. 11 plus, yeah. They just zip around the corner of this pole and stop for a second and say, "I'm hidden. Now I will run away." And so they can't see which way you went, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you take off into the darkness. We're not going to do this to scale by any stretch of the imagination. You just pick a hallway at random and go tearing down it. Behind you, if you'd looked, you didn't, but the camera did, so we're all fine. The spider rushes to where you were and skids to a stop as one of the four legs comes down exactly where you were standing and actually breaks the rock where it hits. And it pulls it out and then has to stop and wait until the skittering of the rock stops. And then it turns. I'm not going to tell you which way it goes. You don't know whether it's following you or not, but you are now... Well, let me put it... Are you sneaking, walking, or running down this hall?
Running.
Okay, that makes perfect Idicus sense, yes. So yes, the split second you take off from behind that pillar, it's going to know where you are. But yeah, for this moment, you cannot see it, but you may or may not have turned around and looked.
He would eventually.
Okay, yeah.
Like turn, look. Is it still chasing me?
What you see, as you turn and look, it has gone down the other tunnel, but it's stopped and has backing up into the chamber and starting to turn towards the tunnel that you're in. You've gained a little extra space, but it's back on your clangy foot noises again.
He's going again. I'm going to again take the bow.
Yep.
Let another one go.
Absolutely. Fire away. I love this.
Kiting the fucker.
Wow.
Good lord.
Nothing but 25s tonight.
And 8s.
Another 8 points of damage. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it comes hurtling around the spiderling around the corner. So it's like all 8 legs just they don't slide on the floor like dogs do. They got the claws built into their feet. And it turns its that chin ray towards you again, and as it does, it exposes a little crack between the 2 bits of armor, and your second arrow goes right in that space. What color are the feathers on your arrows?
Probably whatever I found. So they are probably rainbow, honestly.
In that case, there are sort of 3 randomly brightly colored feathers sticking out between the 2 armor things on the chest. And yes, that's a callback to last night. Never mind. It works here too. So yes, and it has to crunch with its neck, and you see that little end of the arrow break off and fall away. But when it straightens its head out again to sense you, you can see this starting to pulse. It's getting angry. Like this part of its jaw is turning red as well. But you're doing damage, but it absolutely positively knows you're here now. You still got a movement. Are you running or are you hiding?
Hiding.
You're gonna stay where you are and hide? Okay.
Hopefully.
Give us a stealth check.
Oh yeah.
27.
I don't know if that works.
Wow. Iticus, I need a Constitution savings throw from you.
Oh no.
Perfect. Oh, that is so perfect. Don't worry, it's not a bad thing. You hide. You are a goblin. This is what you do. You become not here. And you just crouch against the wall and think like a rock. And it's not a big jump. It doesn't take a long time to get into character. Right? And you just turn into this little metal rock stuck to the side of the passageway. And the spider goes by, one leg at a time. Tunk, 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 and it stops right in front of you. And the poison goes and burns the floor. Tunk, 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 stops, and you can see that big abdomen in front of you, deflated to a point, but not. It's stopped now. It's kind of the ooze has stopped oozing out, and then tunk, 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 goes past you down the hall in the direction you were heading.
Gonna turn around.
Yep.
And go running down the other way.
As you I'm just before you think it's gone, and I'm gonna, and just at that moment the relief hits, and I have a very serious question. What does it look like when a goblin warforge poops itself a little bit?
Probably release some oils.
Just imagine a fully formed brick.
Just I like the oils idea better, because I got ducks and chickens. That's the image I got, with just sort of just some lumpy oil hits the ground underneath this rock, and the spider wanders off into the darkness. You get up and turn back the way you came. Creature, you're in the main room. The giant statues. The one in the middle just ate Corfell, and you kind of, if you don't remember, actually, I'll remind you, Corfell was also told they couldn't come in here because the Moon Elves had something to do with the killing of the physical thing that turned into the Allfather eventually. And then the statue, too same, just ate him with your tentacles. Somehow that's not your biggest problem. You look way off in the distance. Actually, you can't. You can only see 60 feet. So you can hear the dancing pirate bugbear to your south. There was a flash at the portal as Beowulf disappeared and the brick wall came back. And Iticus is gone.
So, creature.
Yes.
I know that this isn't what this skill is for, but he has stillness of mind.
Yes.
So he calms himself.
Yes.
To a single degree, to the point that he can hear everything, like an echolocation.
Okay.
As a dampier, just hearing everything, trying to hear everything in all directions, hearing the of Bickford, and then
slightly out of sync with the actual noise, because noise takes time to travel, but it doesn't psychically. I just decided that.
It is actually Bickford saying.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And creature essentially, like in his mind, he swipes left on the noise to make it go away.
Yep.
And he looks, using nothing but the echolocation thing that he's going with. Yeah. Also, he lets out a small sound that only a bugbear and creature would be able to hear.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's just, where the hell are you? Is what the noise translates to. but in undead.
And just scary skeletons playing over top my remix.
Creature calms himself and waits for the sounds to come back to him after bouncing everywhere.
Yeah.
And as he's doing this, he's removing. He knows he's going to have to move fast. He doesn't know where he's going to have to move, but he knows he's going to have to move fast. So he drops his bag, his cloak, and he rolls up he takes off his shoes, rolls up his pants to a little bit below the knees.
Yeah.
Letting the claws of his feet dig into the earth.
Yep. Because as soon as you're out of this room, everything's covered in ice again. I'll give you, as part of that sort of that calming self thing, that you kind of, as you were listening, you also felt a tiny breeze from the set of doors that are, you remember when you searched this room way to the north, there's 2 sets of doors. You can feel a tiny cold breeze coming from the direction of the right-hand set of those doors.
Creature, because he knows the sound is going to take a while to reach that way, thinks like Iticus for a moment and has to go, I'm going to get in trouble. As he's getting into Iticus' character,
all by themselves at the moment, because Bickford's only got 60 feet of vision too, cannot see this.
And so with that gets into the mindset of Iticus and goes, went through that little cold space.
Yeah, the only interesting thing in this room is up there. Yep.
Yeah, and just opens his chest up, tendrils digging into the ground, and just kind of both doing just 2 tendrils going as far forward as possible, and then catapulting him forward.
I just saw Skeletor as a bobsled team, like all by himself, just upside down on his back. And then yes. You are getting traction across this room. So that answered that question. You're not waiting. You are heading north. It's one of those things, like, it just feels like it takes forever to get where you're going. It feels like every step takes an hour. It's just, there's that, I gotta save them. I've got to save them. What if they're already, no, I can't think about that. And you just, all the way across this room. Yeah.
If I may, I'd like to take 6 points of damage to vomit blood out to make myself a little lighter as I keep moving.
Oh my word.
You don't have to take the damage. We get it. You are going as hard as you can go. I'll tell you when to start taking levels of exhaustion. Not yet, though. But you start approaching this door again. This room isn't frozen. This is just a rock room. It's cracked and broken in places, but it's just a rock floor. So you have excellent traction in here. You are coming towards doors that are 40 feet tall and 40 feet wide, double doors. There is, because you are in this hyper-focused state, a small sort of Idiocus-shaped hole where one of the hinges has cracked as this whole building has settled over time. But it's only like, there's no way you're going through it in any sort of current form that you have. The doors are frozen shut with 6 inches of ice, 15 centimeters. I insist on converting everything.
While still moving.
Yeah.
Creature just begins to compress himself as much as possible.
Yeah.
Using the tendrils to make himself thin and just spear-like.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just shoot through that little.
Oh, you're not. There's no way. No, this isn't Corsairs. Sorry, man, but
okay,
no.
I can't do that. I figured I'd at least try.
Yeah.
6 inches of ice. I can't do anything making it necrotic.
Nope. Physical violence is usually the best way to deal with ice.
Yeah. Creature's going to deal as
be really strong, just saying.
Creature's going to start digging through the ice until he gets to the wooden door part.
Yep.
And then just turning
metal.
the metal door.
Big metal doors, yeah. And the handles are 15 feet up.
Creature's going to do it.
The safety handles, because you got to be able to.
He hears the of
Yeah.
Bigfoot and goes, "He's useless right now."
So you start to make your way through that. Give me a straight athletics.
Axe or athletics? Okay.
Athletics to start smashing the ice.
Can I use acrobatics in a fun?
I have a reason why you might have to use acrobatics in a second. So let's see the athletics first.
16.
16.
There you go.
You smash as you get there. You just use all this momentum you've built up coming across the room and just slam into the ice. And a huge slab of it just does break off. Give me acrobatics, please, to get the hell out of the way before it falls on you.
12.
12. You get part way out of the way, and you only take...
I use the rest of my evasion.
You have evasion. Yes, okay. So, yes. It's just about to crush your left leg, and you just sort of retract it like you're a turtle. You're not, but you kind of just do that snap and pull it back, and the sheet of ice and just shatters in front of you, covering you for a split second in icy, frozen, high-velocity, face-burning mist. The door is about 6 feet. 2 meters of the slab in a semicircle is broken, so you're not even halfway up to the lock yet.
Is there any gap in the door that even if it's covered with ice?
Yeah, there's the doors have moved slightly. There's a space sort of, a couple centimeters, an inch wide.
Creature's going to start basically attacking that space.
Okay.
To try and enlarge it.
Yeah.
Like he knows the doors will swing.
Mm-hmm.
So just by attacking that spot, the weak area that he's made, he's hoping to.
So you start pounding away at this door, trying to get it to open. Briefly cut away. We're going to get back to you in a second, but we're briefly going to cut away to Bigfoot. Party pirate Bigfoot.
Sorry, I used the wrong accent. What's been the problem?
The problem is your pirate rave keeps getting interrupted by that faceless dude that's always got a fucking mission to do. And you're just getting a really good buzz going, and he's got another one apparently. And then, first of all, give me a wisdom save.
Oh shit.
We're rolling dice like we're actually playing D&D. This is freaky. Yep. Other than that, you have no idea what's going on.
That'd be about right.
So a couple seconds later, give me another wisdom save. We're just going to do this till you win. I just want to know how long it takes. Nope. Still no clue. It's like, oh, I got a new beat. Arr, 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 arr.
Oh my god.
No, arr, 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 arr. Finally.
A couple minutes later.
30 seconds later, the song in your head changes.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm on fucking.
You're hasted too, so yeah. You're doing double speed, like yeah. So in your head, it's been well over a minute before you suddenly a single word pops into your head, a single name, in fact. Well, 2 words: Iticus missing.
Bickford's party slows to a halt. You hear the
Like the battery's running out on a Christmas toy. Yeah. Yep.
And the lights start to. The red shift has stopped.
Yep.
There used to be a goblin over here. I can't find him. Oh, Shiticus. So yeah, Bickford's going to make his way to the main room because there weren't any doors that he remembers.
You start heading north. As you do, you see at first it's a big bony spider running across the floor away from you into the distance. Then you realize you recognize that ass. It's got way too many arms, but that is absolutely creature. And as you realize
it's not an ass, it's more like a lack of ass.
Well, yes, exactly. An ass like space.
Bad butt. Oh shit.
And that's going way into the distance at the far side of this room because I'm giving you more vision just for the comical effect. And as you see that disappearing into the darkness, a couple seconds later you hear as he hits the wall, the ice falls. What do you do?
Well,
somebody literally crashed your rave.
As Bickford makes his way across the room to try and figure out what the fuck that sound was.
Yep. As you can move a little more because you get over there and you see you now see Creature having at the doors as though they've said rude things about his mother.
No, said rude things about Iticus. Come on.
About Iticus. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he comes up to Iticus.
That doesn't have a mother. Yeah,
Creature, and he asks him, "Does he owe you money?" The door.
It's in the way.
Oh.
Like all of Creature's bone exoskeleton bits crack.
Yeah. And he's just pounding on these doors, and you can see give me another wisdom save, Bickford. Because Creature is focused entirely on the door. Nope.
Yes.
You look up.
Bickford, I got a 1.
Bickford, you look up, and maybe it's the drugs. Maybe not. Actually, no. It's definitely who cares, because the entire frozen rest of this door starts to sparkle, and it's all like rainbow colors, and it's if you were of your right mind, you would realize these are prisms forming in rapidly increasing cracks, but you're way too twisted. You're just like, hey, the light show's out here, rave's out here now, and you get distracted for
party's
a
back
turn.
On. The party be back on. Let's go. You start dancing. Okay, in that case,
in hearing that, Creature's just going to go, there's an even better party out of these doors.
Creature, dex save. Bickford, dex save with disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Because you're looking right at it, but I'm hoping. Oh yes. Oh, that's good. That's ever so good. Yeah. Let's describe this from Bickford's point of view. You're looking up at the rainbows. The beat's back. Arr, 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 arr. You realize that's the sound. A tiny part of you realizes that the beat is being provided by Creature's feet as they flee the scene, because they looked up and went, oh shit, and left, or some version thereof. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but that was what you saw, just like, and gone. You're like, oh, that's distracting. Look up again, and the rainbows are coming to see you. Oh, it's so pretty. 40 feet of rainbows is coming.
They're all sharp pieces of ice.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Creature, we're going to switch now to your point of view. You just, like, you look up and the archway that you formed with your hole has collapsed. And all the ice, all the rest of the door ice is coming down. Your plan worked. It's all coming off. Only one small hitch to the problem, and it's obvious you just got missed before. You leap out of the way, only to see Bickford, who now apparently has a pirate hat on his bald head, because that doesn't change anything, is standing underneath the collapsing arch, looking up at it like it's the best thing in the world.
Creature, I'm sorry, by Bickford, that I'm doing this, knows the fastest way to grab Bickford and pull him at least a little out of the way is one of his tendrils. So he's going to pierce through his shoulder.
Or not again.
So, let me see. So take, roll 1d4 damage for us for the tentacle, because you're trying to be nice about it. I'll just give you 1d4 damage.
Okay. I was doing, it should, really it's only 1d4 plus 3, but still 2s.
So 2, yeah. It pierces through your shoulder and starts to pull you away. That's yeah, you failed the save. So you on the way out, after being pierced, because you did fail to save, you also take 8 points of damage from the crushing ice.
Would this be considered an AoE?
Why? What do you want to use?
For purposes of evasion. Hold on,
Oh,
wow.
Evasion. Okay, take half of 8, because at the last possible second you think, I've been thrown out of better bars than this, and allow yourself to be taken. So yes, take 4 points of damage, so 6 total.
Okay, done.
And then another huge sheet of ice and covers the two of you in a fine powder of ice, which starts to rain down like very heavy snow. Meanwhile,
Bickford, while still in pain, Bickford sticks out his tongue to like start catching the crystals because he's still a little high.
Yeah,
there's a billion. You haven't put this together yet. There's now a billion rainbows, and this is the best light show ever. Creature, we got one sentence.
Oh no, this is. I'm hoping I can take control of Bickford for 2 seconds. It just gives Bickford like a little smack in the back of the head. Bickford would turn around, smack Creature, and then just like a slap fight.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As Bickford's slowly trying to like distance himself because you know his arms are longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he just pulls out with the tendril and smacks with one of those. Just...
And from across the room, the camera watches this like watching a snow globe that somebody shook just before you came in the room. As the ice settles over. Now, Beowulf, I saved you for last because you're in a situation which could be fairly serious. So thank you for your patience, first of all. And let's remind everybody, you are over here.
Meanwhile.
Oops.
Meanwhile,
can't see anything. Hang on, let me fix it.
Yeah, I cannot see anything.
Well, let me fix it.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
I have a character.
Oh, that's because you don't have night vision.
Not as a human, no.
And not as a giant.
Oh, wow. Okay, that changes everything. Beowulf, you stumble through the wall. You could see when the portal was lit, you got that sort of overview of the room with all the giant statues in front of you and the frozen giant on the floor in the middle. But now that the portal closes behind you and it's black in here, you can't see a thing. What do you do?
I am gonna close my eyes and see if I can use my hearing to basically like feel around, listen.
Absolutely. Yep.
Listen for other things.
Give me a perception check with advantage. That's what I wanted to see.
21.
Perfect.
Mhm.
It is frozen in here. Every surface is covered in ice. Every surface is a hard surface. So you're getting, well, that would confuse you as a human. Your inner animal processes that as like multiple sources of light, right? It's like being inside a cone and being able to hear everything. You start to reach out with that, and there's an odd moment where you hear a whistling sound, but there's no wind where you are. But you get a sensation of being, you're focusing so hard, you get a sensation of almost taking on aspects of your wolven form. But this form is much, much furrier. And of course, because you're a giant, much, much bigger. But you can hear and feel snow blowing over your pelt and over your nose as you try and listen and smell in this room. You swear you're on the side of a mountain for just a moment, and you look down and your fur is silvery white.
Oh, wow.
You start to focus again, and it's basically like sonar. I'm going to give you... Let's see where it stops. Perfect. And I do want it to dim, and I want it to start dimming at about that far, making it up on the fly. There we go. That should do it. Oops. That one and that one. Nope. That one and that one. There it is. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So, you can now see ahead of you the two closest, not see, you can echolocate the two closest statues, the hill giant and the storm giant. The storm giant is the one you are. You are still in giant form. You're just using your senses of a wolf. Wolf location. Stop it. I'm trying to be serious. You start to move forward, and as you get to where you are now, you can see this frozen corpse on the ground. It's another frost giant. Or sorry, that's what you are. You're a frost giant, not a storm giant. You're the same as the dead one on the floor. Frozen to the floor inside a magic circle. What do you do next?
Well, he's going to do his best to investigate the area. Maybe see if he can recognize anything about the circle that the giant is in, or what may have happened to the giant.
Okay, let me... Where are we going? Oops. I did the one thing I didn't want to do.
17.
17. Let's see what you find. So I scroll all the way down to there. Here we go. You start to move around, and again, using your sort of canine senses, you're not getting much. There's nothing in this room that's moved. Nothing in this room has moved for thousands of years.
Wow.
But as you set foot on the magic circle, the ice starts to crack. And first, it's just a very thin line that goes out, and it kind of leaves your area of perception, but you can see it's making a circle around on the ice where the magic circle is. You can hear it going away into the distance, and then you hear it connect at the other end and stop for a second. And then back by you, this ornate, giantish runes, the kind of ones that you saw outside of here, also start to crack into the ice. And you can see that they're shining through from the magic circle below. Frost giant in the center of the room, the ice starts to break away where he's laying on the ground. And you see his forehead start to lift like he's starting to sit up.
Maybe he's going to take a step back,
Mm-hmm.
but still try and keep, within distance of being able to see the giant. Well, I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
They finish sitting up. You see that they're quite young. They're also wearing full armor. They are decked for battle. But the whole side of their head has been caved in, as if by one giant blow from a hammer. They're definitely not alive. This body is possessed, I guess would be the right word. You hear a voice. The mouth doesn't move. It's still frozen shut. But a voice comes from that direction. You are not a giant.
No. I found a potion and drank it. And apparently it made me one.
How did you get in?
We were let in by another giant.
Who?
He stops to think a moment. Sorry. Harshnag.
Ah, that does change things. Where are the others?
As in the others of my party?
Yes.
On the other side of the portal that I just came from?
That is unfortunate. I will have to speak with you. I'm just trying to make sure I get... why am I looking for the information?
He's going to take a few steps forward.
Yes.
I have a small question.
Yes.
Is this happening while Beowulf is all in wolf form, and this happening
No,
psychically?
they were never in wolf form.
He
They
was
only
never
got-
in wolf form.
They were just sort of channeling their inner wolf.
Okay.
Just
Aye.
it was a great excuse to give them vision in this perfectly black room. So.
Yes. I'm sorry. I just
Like a doggo.
got confused.
Yeah,
No,
they're-
it's
they're
all right.
going sonar basically. So, the oracle, because that's clearly what this is, looks at you again, pauses for a moment, and says, "What would you have me tell you?"
What is wrong with the ordering?
It is broken.
Is there a way to fix it?
Yes, that is your job.
What do I need to do to fix it?
You need to fix what I put asunder.
What did you put asunder?
The ordning.
Okay.
What's the ordning?
He sits there and figures that it's just going to keep going around in circles if he doesn't figure out the right question to ask. So then, let's see here.
They needed shaking up. I did not expect this much shaking. It must be returned to its former set ways.
So he done fucked up.
And we do that by talking to the heads of each one?
You do that by going to Hecaton's court and stopping them from bringing their chaos to the rest of this realm.
And where is this place at?
It's not that simple.
Oh. But deep in the back of his mind, he's like going, knew it wasn't going to be that easy, damn it.
To get there requires a horn of teleportation, and I do not have access to them. But each of the leaders of the giants do. magic
So
conch. It's a conch.
we just need to find out. Does each one have one? Or is it just thrown between the leaders?
There is only one. And I can get it. But only after you prove your worth.
How do I do that?
There are... Make sure I get this right, because I do want to steal this bit.
Creatures in here to be so sarcastic. Look, lady, you chose us.
Oh
First.
shit, this is the old lady that ran into me in fucking Golden Fields. You'll have to go in there. Shit.
So I'm just trying to fill up the silence with.
It's okay. I got it.
Stuff.
I found what I'm looking for. It's actually a quote. We're going to work with this. When human barbarians came to these lands, they fought our kind and stole our relics, burying them in the ground. The humans, knowing they were special, built altars to Uthgar, their god king, atop these relics, and surrounded their altars with burial mounds. Go to these mounds, retrieve one or more of our lost relics, and bring them here as tribute. Do this, and I can open a path for you. There are many paths to take. The more relics you discover, the more paths you will have to choose from. Several evil giant lords stand ready to oppose you. You can ruin all of their plans by defeating just one of them. Which one that is remains to be seen.
But there will be a relic for each one of the type of giants, I'm assuming?
There is, exactly. In fact, there are 9 relics. Harshnag can provide you with a map.
It's kind of frozen at the moment.
Nice cube.
What?
Harsh Cube.
Yeah, he was fighting some fire thingy, and in order to stop it, he froze himself and the fire thingy.
At least I was able to leave the potion in the other room, so at least one of them can turn into a giant and come in here then.
I guess that would be me.
You have the potion on you.
All right, out of character. He did
Yeah.
bring it with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yep.
is.
It's you, yeah.
Yes, I have it on me. It's in one of my pockets.
A certain problem presents itself.
This is the Oracle's way of saying, fuck.
Meanwhile, Iticus. The spider has gone by. You head back the other way. Back the way you came. And you sneaky. As you make your way along the tunnel, you get right back to where you were when you started. Almost. Like you can see this sort of open space in front of you. But then...
When the DM got lost.
No,
Yes.
DM left stuff on the wrong layer. Bam, there we go.
And I'm just twirling my mustache.
All right, so you get back to this sort of main room, Iticus, and way out at the edge of your vision, you're like, just when you're sort of, oh, I think I'm safe. I think maybe, like you listen real hard, and the spider has gone behind you. But as you're listening real hard, you hear much smaller skickety noises in front of you.
Oh, fuck.
And you look over, and it's like they're nowhere near as big, but they're still way bigger than you. There's 2 of them. So you look, and at this point, you got 2 choices. 2 little ones or 1 big one. You take just a moment to process. The 2 little ones are coming towards you.
In Goblin, because that's the only way he knows how to say this word. Shit. And he pulls out his bow and he's like, all right, the two little ones, let's go.
The two little
I'm
ones.
assuming
okay.
that the word kind of vibrates down the hall towards to where Big Bird and Creature are.
This stops the slap fight in its tracks.
Did you hear that?
Give me.
I don't know what it's. I don't know
your
what
first,
it is.
yeah, they come
We need to wash
looming
that
out
out
of
with
the
soap.
They come looming out of the darkness, Oedicus. Give me. They don't see you yet. Their tremor sense is not as well developed. Give me. You're panicked. Give me 2 shots. I'm gonna let you have 2 shots. A 20 and a 15, 7 and 10 piercing damage. Forget any numbers you might see on the screen. This is way more fun. Oedicus. Boom. One of them just deflates like a bug. It's like a play you saw once about a guy that hung out in some forest and stole shit. He gave it to certain kinds of people, but you never really got that part of the play. And boom, you let go of the second shot, and poof, the second one pops in the distance too. They're dead.
He's just gonna put his bow back, sit down, just take a moment.
Yeah.
Because he also wants to listen to hear for the other one to figure out where it
Give
is.
me a perception check.
I'm just seeing Oedicus like put a
19.
bandana.
I
over his
love
head.
it. Yeah.
It's fucking Rambo time.
Oedicus, you focus. And you hear your worst nightmare. The big one's coming back.
Oh no.
Bo's coming back out.
Okay.
And it's Heidi time.
Heidi time. And you wait till you can see it. It sticks its face out into the tunnel just to the south of you. Give us another shot. You haven't missed yet. Wow.
Nice.
And I said I'd give you advantage last time, so yeah, click that. So 12 points damage. Wow.
Actually,
Not how I expected the session to go, for the record.
Nope, no, definitely not.
Oh,
This
I
is
know,
why I don't.
right?
This is
No.
why I don't plan. Oedicus, it's just like maybe this is a magical spider killing bow. Like, maybe that's what this is. And thud, another one just buries you. Or finally get the eye you were aiming for. In fact, you get all 4 of them up one side before it finds a hole and goes into the armor. Has absolutely 0 effect on its ability to hunt, but you finally got the eye you were looking for. It does have a slight effect, actually, because it starts to, like, its whole one side of its body is not working very well anymore.
Oh,
All
dear.
right.
You have one more round before it overruns you.
Yeah.
You've seen what its claws can do. Never mind its bite. You've seen what one of its spiky things can do.
Yeah, he's gonna roll with it again and try.
You draw back and hit again. -7.
It's because I filtered out all the bad rolls.
I think so.
As it towers above you, you kind of misfire, like, oh my god. There might be another squirt of oil somewhere that nobody notices at this moment, but you kind of let go. But at this close, you can't miss, and it just drives up into the belly, right into the hourglass, like a natural target. And the whole back end starts to deflate, and more ooze comes out of it. A bunch of eggs start to pour out, but they're all sort of popped and broken and everything else. It's still alive, and it's going to get one swing. I do not have the character sheet open. I don't care. This +5. 23. I'm assuming that hits.
Oh, that hits.
Do it. Roll the fucking dice. The claws, it's not a bite. It's just the front foot slams into you for 3 points of damage. Give me a Constitution save to avoid the damage from the actual poison that's just on it. It's not actually... Oh, almost. Take 1 more point of poison damage. So all of that for a grand total of 4 points of damage as it slams its big spiky front leg into you. And it just kind of opens up your shirt and cuts you down the front a little bit. Knocks some paint off, basically, of your metal body. That claw slides off of you and slams into the ground. I let those dice tell the story, man. We could I didn't look to see how many hit points you got. We could have killed you right there. How many have you got?
17.
That could have killed you. That was a D8 and a D10. So that could have easily killed you. With that, Idicus, it's dying and coming down on top of you.
Yeah, it's run.
Okay. You bolt out from underneath. The body slams to the ground and starts crawling towards you with its 2 remaining functional legs. It's only covering a couple of feet every time. You can go 30, it can go 2.
Yep, he'll let one more go.
Stop and turn. And yet again, only 1 roll under 20 to hit. And yeah, you draw back and right up the other row of 4 eyes. So all that's left is 2 rainbow-colored feathers, 2 sets of rainbow-colored feathers sticking out of its 4 parts. There's a gout of poison onto the ground. It falls into its own puddle of poison, and because creatures in D&D aren't immune to their own stuff anymore, it starts to eat through its own chitinous skull.
And
Idicus,
run away.
Yeah, you turn around to run, Idicus. You take 2 steps, and there's 2 dead spiders here, both twice your height on the ground. Dead.
Yeah, just gonna climb over.
Just over them and run. Absolutely. Idicus, I'm not done with you yet. You run and run and run. Because I'm assuming like this is like I'm the luckiest Idicus ever. I need to get out of here.
Yep.
You are running and running and running. And I'm going to railroad this just a little bit because I think it's wonderful. So this is what we're going to do. You run and run and run. You run and run and run. You just make choices at random as you get to hallway junctions. Just thinking of your friends as you try and run back. You hear the voices of your friends trying to help, and sometimes you listen and sometimes you don't. And then you realize you are as lost as an Idicus can be. That you don't even know which way's up anymore. And you skid to a stop, and in the distance you can see a big person, like a normal-sized person, like an almost creature-sized person, dressed all in furs and robes with at first you think they got horns, but then you realize it's a helmet that's got horns on it, and they got a big long stick like the magic users, and they're singing one of those songs that are obviously magical. You look just past them, and you see a whole chamber of egg sacs, just white balls strapped to the walls and the floor and the ceiling in here.
Oh dear.
A green fire starts to spread out from this person towards the egg sacs. What do you do?
He's gonna get closer.
Yep.
Because it's shiny.
Yep. What are you gonna try and do?
Just watch.
Okay. You see them hold out the staff. The fire is centered on this big green ball on the top of the staff. Just, you don't know the word. It's an emerald, but it's like the size of a football on the top of this staff. At least in your eyes it is. At this particular moment, it is the biggest, shiniest, greenest thing you have ever seen. It's also your backpack. There's a wand that tells you when you're around enemies that I conveniently forget most of the time. but I've conveniently remembered it now. The woman, you realize it's a woman now, a human woman, is evil as evil gets and would kill Idicus in a heartbeat. However, the big shiny staff is definitely a good stick.
Interesting.
Really big
Power
good
of
stick.
Yoink compels you. The power of Yoink compels you.
Yep.
Oh, or the mighty killer Idicus. Yes. What
He's
do
gonna-
you, covered in ichor, unbeknownst to you? Say it.
He's gonna stealth in,
Yep. Say it.
and he's gonna try and get the stick.
Just steal the staff and run away with it. Yes. Give me a sleight of hand check with advantage because you are so brave today, Idicus.
Oh,
So brave. 25.
I love the dice sometimes.
It's this
I
person
know.
is like, you don't understand. It's some weird language. It makes you feel kind of funny and tingly, so it must be magical. They draw back as if to say something else, and they slam it on the ground right in front of you. You almost run into it. You just kind of boink and turn and run. And you feel their hand for a second on it, and then you hear, "Ow, splinters!" in common, and it lets go. As soon as they do, the light goes out, making you very difficult to follow for a human with no night vision. And you take off into the darkness. Behind you, the staff going ting 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 as you got it over your shoulder, just running because it's twice as long as you are. Meanwhile, because I'm setting up a thing now. A thing is getting set up. So set up.
Loot Goblin.
Oh,
Idicus
wow.
is our Loot Goblin DAC. Like,
I got a thing. Oh, see, I'm remembering the IKEA ad. Start the car! Start the car!
Yeah, and he finally gets back to his friend.
Hello, gotta go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, okay. Oh man, I love what we're doing to this. Oh, I can feel wizards rolling over in their grave and they're not dead yet.
They will be once they
Meanwhile-
see this and what we've done to it.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
this is a heart attack waiting to happen. Meanwhile, the doors are shattered. The two of you. You go through. Between the two of you, you'd have to do a shoulder standy thing to get to the door handle, but I'm willing to give it to you as long as you realize how silly it looked.
We tell no one of this.
With a pirate hat still, you just hanging off the handle. The door's open.
Still dancing a little bit. Just a tiny bit.
You know what? You dancing is fine, but tap is a little unnecessary.
With hobnail boots on your armor.
It's my fault. I got claws down here.
Yeah, I feel.
The two of you burst into this huge foyer, stairs going down, stairs going up. And ahead of to your right or to your left above you, a huge statue of a stone giant. That's all you can see from where you are. Go ahead. Now you guys are back on this side of the wall. You can start moving yourselves.
Creature takes 2 steps forward.
Yep.
And in the loudest voice he's ever mustered, just Idicus!
Idicus, kiss, 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 kiss. That's all you hear. Yeah. And then, yeah. And you lost the bugbear again. We'll get, yes, Idicus is going to hear that, but not right now. You yell it out into the darkness and you get nothing back.
Once again, calming himself, trying to think.
Yep. Give me
Where
an
would Idicus be?
investigation. Oh, actually, no. You wanted to be you were trying to be Idicus. Give me an insight check. Insight
Yeah.
somebody that isn't here. WWID. What would
Oh, thank the
Idicus do?
gods. I have a 6+ in insight.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
19.
Jack has us in a moon shell. Give
you
me your
move-
serious plots. Let me destroy them.
Yes.
Just tendrils come out and make a Idicus shape and then just start wandering about forward. The
Yes.
creature follows the
You
innocent
just
shape
follow
from
that.
his-
Yes. You do past the statue, and you see ahead of you a long hallway. It is 40 feet wide and goes a ridiculous distance into the darkness. Bickford, you going with?
Bigford follows for a bit, stops at the statue, and is like, "It's not shiny. I get it now."
And just keep going. Yeah. I'm gonna, and then you start following again. So I'm gonna put you slightly behind, but I'm gonna do this to move us along. You start to head northwards up this series. You look in these rooms; they're giant barracks, and everywhere you go, you can sort of sense Idicus has been here. You get to here. And it looks like, just in the distance, it looks like Idicus normally, again, like they always do. They go to the left first, then the right. Give me an investigation check. Whoever's in the front. That is Creature.
That's me still. You had to choose investigation.
I did, because that's what you would use now. 8. Perfect. You see the feet head into that room just like normal. To the north, the two of you hear at the same moment the sound of a huge rock rolling down a stone tunnel towards you at speed. Idicus wasn't big enough to trigger the trap.
He wasn't.
Bickford, Bickford, give me an investigation check.
All right. 7.
Nope, not a clue. Yeah, did you hear something? I didn't. Yeah, you're still... The groove is still coming in. You suddenly like, oh man, my fur is soft.
These hands. So big.
Looming.
Paws, bro. They're like paws.
The split second you look at him like, I will kill you with a stick. You look
The
back
creature doesn't
north,
even look. He just kind of has that angry.
looming
kicked
out
off.
of the darkness, coming from the north, a 40-foot wide stone ball coming down the hallway towards you at speed. It's coming fast.
Creature quickly looks at the thing and then tries to do the math of it's a ball, right?
Yep. Oh yes, there are places
And it's
you
40.
Yep.
So
you
he's
can
just
try.
going to take Bigford and move to the side
Yep.
and duck down a little bit and just go.
There is a certain amount of give in the ball. There will be a certain amount of acrobatics involved, but yes, it is possible. That is one of your options, is to try and get past the ball. The other one would be to run away from the ball.
Oh no, it's just going to. I'm just going to stand and wait for it to go past, and if I need to, I will limbo.
Oh, as you go, yes, you head towards these doors. I'm assuming these barrack doors to get out of the way, because as you do, they slam shut. But there is still, I mean, it's a ball in a square, so there is a space you can go, but it's like...
And it's a 40-foot tall ball.
Yeah,
if we
it
were
is,
to
yep.
Generally,
Well,
be
let's do it this way.
It's 20
It's a
foot in the
30-foot
middle.
ball. It's a 30-foot ball, and it's kind of doing this, coming down the hall towards you. So it's a little more challenging. You're going to have to make a roll. That's all I'm saying.
I'm fine with doing that. I'm just saying if it's like that much, there's at least like 7 feet of space. Bigford will have to duck.
Yeah,
Creature will help
Bigford.
him duck because that's all he needs to do. It's just, there should be like 7 feet there.
There should be plenty. Bigford, it looks like Creature wants to ride this out. What are you doing?
Bigford's going to kind of mirror his Creature's decision. If Creature wants to go one way, Bigford's going to go the other.
The other way. Brilliant. All right.
Balls aren't cubes. He understands how that
Yes,
shit works. He's going to hide in the
absolutely.
fucking corner and hopefully not get murdered.
You've hid from the cops
I know you
before.
want us to. I know you want us to roll for this. I'm just saying it makes the most sense to wait it out on both sides.
Oh yes, there's plenty on both sides.
All I'm saying is, when
It's
I
not a
worked
high
with
DC.
Starbaz the Horrible, he had one of these traps in his like main keep, and for some stupid reason, he fucking triggered it while we were.
The ball gets there. Give me the rules. Or acrobatics.
I think you're okay.
Very low DC, but there's got to be a chance. Yeah, creature.
22.
Like you said, no problem. Whiff bang.
Like
Big
creature
Fred,
just kind of like
yeah.
puts a foot on the back of the wall and just leans back.
Just leans back. Absolutely. Bigford, yours is a little less spectacular. You just sort of dive to ground in that corner and the ball rolls past. It does roll past. Back behind you. You see at the end of the hallway, the stone giant's hands come up and catch the ball.
Oh, that's clever. Scarbaz should have done that the first time.
And then the ball starts to roll back up towards you very slowly, and you can just barely see the stone statue on the other side pushing it back up the hall. It's going to take forever to get to you, but
we're just gonna if it took long, if it
the
didn't take
doors
forever to get to
reopen.
us,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
we would have just followed behind him as he's putting it back in place. Like, why wouldn't you?
Oh no, he's still way down at the bottom of the hallway. He's still like 200 feet to yourself, pushing it back towards you. It's going to take like 10 turns to get here, but yeah.
If he was getting there really quickly.
The doors open back up around you. This time you notice, because there's not a big giant ball rolling towards you, the footprints that go to your left don't come back.
Do you think he went that way?
Creature does his best to remember how Idicus smells, and then just kind of puts out a tongue to sniff around the area for
as soon as you move into this room, you see a very enticing, shiny, sparkly ice cave crack in the wall in the back of this room.
He went that way.
Yeah, he went that way.
And the two of you start to follow. It's a tight fit because, well, this part, right at the very beginning, it's a tight fit for the two of you. But soon it opens up because eventually it has to be big enough for a giant spider. You follow. It's fairly easy to follow his footprints in the ice because they're metal footprints in the ice, and he wasn't really sneaking. You follow and follow and follow. You come around a corner, and in the distance, there's two sort of lumps that are already starting to freeze over.
We come up to it. Bickford's going to poke one with his blackjack.
As you get closer, it's two giant spiders, each one almost as big as each of you, peppered. No, sorry, one each, right in the face. You see the rainbow, the random sort of arrows, random fletched arrows of your friend.
When was
Idicus.
the last time we gave Idicus a present?
Bickford has never seen Idicus fire his bow.
No, but you've seen the quiver with all the arrows sticking out of it.
Yeah, so Bickford's like, do you think there's an elf nearby? This one requires some skill.
I mean, like creature colorblind.
Yeah.
So can't see the colors of the feather
fletching. Right.
Yeah, so you would know.
Yes.
But creature would just kind of go, these are the general shape of Idicus's arrows.
Yeah.
Like enough to know this was Idicus and just kind of go,
it's Idicus. That's enough. That's all you really need to know. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Like creature thinks, I have a mirror in my bag. It's Idicus's when we see him.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's shiny. And it's him. Yeah.
Bickford's like, bullshit.
And as if to prove your point, Bickford, that's it. The brave moment of the ecstasy has come on now. You're bulletproof. You're not only very soft and very sexy, you're also bulletproof. You're now head off into the darkness to prove any one of those three things to whoever you meet.
Mm-hmm.
And as you follow the easy tracks, the easy footprints, you come to a huge puddle of spider ichor. And it's kind of melting into the ice and the floor, and you have to go around it. And there's a confusing set of tiny footprints, but no body. You go further on, and you can see almost blocking the tunnel ahead.
Spider just in case.
Oh, you're not there yet. You're just getting to it now.
Oh,
you head into another section, and you see a huge black shape almost blocking the whole tunnel. As you get closer, you see it's the all but deflated corpse of a giant black spider. It is peppered with little rainbow-covered arrows. It is dead as fuck.
Several elves.
One warforged.
No, I am pretty sure it was an elf. He keeps going.
And you keep following.
Bigford, I know that that's what you want to believe, but believing the evidence is what makes a good doctor. It also is what keeps bugbears alive.
He stops and he looks at the arrow. I'm like, this must have been a really small elf.
You hear
Who else do
down
we
one
know
tunnel,
that's really small?
down one tunnel way ahead of you. You hear ah, accompanied by ting 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 ting.
Bigford's ears perk up.
Creature
I recognize
stands-
this story.
Creature doesn't respond to that. He just kind of stands, knows exactly what he'll have to do to stand right next to the running Iticus.
Oh, not
And
coming
as
towards
it-
you.
Oh,
Nope.
not coming towards us?
Nope,
Oh,
definitely fading. Doppler effect's going the other way.
Okay, I
Ow!
was hoping coming towards us just so that
Nope.
I could.
You
pick
just
up
got a
Iticus.
direction.
Okay, then creature just goes. Okay, and just
And
starts rushing
The
forward.
two of you just bolt in that general direction through the darkness. Absolutely. Beowulf.
Meanwhile,
Creature's moving like 90 speed.
You are in this chamber with this ghost.
Mm-hmm.
You have been told where to. You've been told that Harshnag has a map, but you don't know how to get it at the moment.
Uh-huh.
The dead giant that's occupied by the oracle starts to lay back down, as though they're ending the interview. What do you do?
How do I get out of here?
I get the job.
And he sits back up. I thought I'd just explained it. You don't get out of here. You might want to lie down on the floor here next to me.
How am I supposed to tell everybody else what we need to do?
You're not, and this has now made things extraordinarily difficult.
Well. He stops and thinks to himself for a moment. He slowly walks around the room, leaving the giant corpse to go back to sleep. He starts a little bit north.
It doesn't
Basically,
go
it's
back
looking
to
for
sleep.
anything like cracks or
It doesn't go back to
anything
sleep. It watches you as you move around. And after a very long pause, you hear, there may be a way, but you may not survive it.
I'm willing to try.
He's got cure wounds. He's good.
I mean, fucking start with that.
Come here then. And he stands the rest of the way up and looks you in the eyes as a giant to giant. Turn around.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry?
Turn around.
He thinks a moment and then does.
Remove your jacket. I need to apply a tattoo of sorts.
Oh, I knew this day would come eventually. I was always going to get one, but no, I'm not done. He mumbles to himself a little bit and changes between between common, giant, infernal, primordial. And eventually he all this while he's removing his jacket and stuff like that. He's just speaking in tongues, basically just saying, I knew this would come, I knew this would come.
You drop your jacket, and with an icy finger instead of a needle, the ghost of Eberron starts to tattoo, by burning your flesh with ice, a map into your back. You can't see it.
Congrats, you're a MacGuffin.
You can't see it, but you can feel every millimeter of it into your skin. So
Yeah,
I'm going to show it to everybody right now. You know this map. as though
Ow!
it was tattooed on your body. Invisible pixel, just pixel by pixel, all across your back, Beowulf.
Yeah, he's found this like leather piece he's had, and he's just stuffed it in his mouth to just take it.
Yes, I was gonna. Yeah, you just by drawing on everything you have, you manage to maintain consciousness through this whole thing, and you realize that once they put all the runes in, they wrote all over it because they have to put the whole thing there. You now know where all of the artifacts are located. You just need to find your map. Once you get out of here, find your map of the Sword Coast and sort of overlay the two, and you'll know where to go. That will allow you to get... then the deal was, if you remember, the more you bring back, the more choices you have as to what routes you want to take to get to this final goal of rebuilding the Ordning. As you do that, it's a way to deal with the pain. You sort of drift off into your wolf form. You find yourself back in that snowbound place, because at least if everything's cold, this freezing tattoo isn't quite so bad.
Okay.
I mean, it is, but it's a nice argument.
No, I get that.
This time when you look down, you're silvery white. But when you look back over your shoulder, and you can in this form, you can see across your back in black is this tattoo on your otherwise white woven form. You come back, and Igaron's ghost says, "I'm done. And I'm very surprised." And it's only at that moment that it hits you. I need a Constitution save, please.
Constitution?
Yes, please. Oh. It hits you hard, and you just drop like this. The pain, your whole body starts to pulse with this pain as you come back to your physical form. You feel the consciousness fading, and you start to drop, and you hit the ground. You are still alive and awake. But for the purposes of this, you're going to start next week at 1 hit point. So change yourself to 1 hit point, and as you do, you look up, and you can't move there yet, but you see the portal that you came through start to crackle. And Igaron's ghost lays back down and freezes back over and says, "You'd best hurry." And then you pass out. Meanwhile, oh, this is so good. I love this serious counterpoint to what's going on over here. Meanwhile, Iticus.
It's just Benny Hill here.
Oh, it is. Just down these endless series of hallways, dragging the sparkly behind you, the emerald bouncing off the floor. Luckily, it's magical, so it doesn't break. Just going as hard as you can go. And ahead of you, you see a tiny bit of light. Just a little crack of light. And you realize that it's glowing slightly. It's a piece of ice. This is like a vent. You know vents. You hide in vents all the time in buildings. This is like a vent that's kind of frozen over a little bit. You are moving really, really, really fast. And you got this great big stick with you. I would like an acrobatics check, please, to try and stop before you get to it at speed. Nope. Beautiful. Iticus, you lock the brakes, but it's metal on ice. You just... And the big stick starts catching up to you, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And the big emerald gets to the back of your neck and finishes the job. The end of the stick hits first, and it shatters the ice. And then you sort of slide back down the shaft and out of this vent. You look down, you're about 8 feet off the ground, because if you're any further than that, you'd take damage, and don't want that to happen. But you come sliding out of this at speed right back into the main chapel, where all the people, like where all the big statues are. You shatter the ice and slide right back out into that and kind of skid to a stop on the floor. You look around, and it's vaguely lit in here, so you can see the whole room again. And nobody's here. There are no friends here.
First thought is, I got away with it.
Best stick ever. Yep. Then you got away with it. Nobody saw you.
He's just gonna go and go over by the statue of Creature and just sit and wait for a little bit at least.
Perfect. Almost immediately, you hear the sound of running footsteps. 2 sets. Dun, 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 dun. You recognize these running footsteps. These running footsteps follow you all the time. You got back before they did. They're never gonna know. The 2 of you, Bickford and Creature, pounding down this hallway, chasing what can only be Idicus. Idicus, you were screaming all the way. You just didn't really know. But you didn't notice because it's you and you just don't notice. And you guys, it stops. The Idicus noise ahead of you goes absolutely silent instantly.
That's not good.
Have you ever seen what happened?
Maybe it's
one
two
of
elves.
those. You. It's one of those moments where you're moving at max speed, and then you do one crazy thing which moves you even faster.
Oh yes, yeah. Just ramp it up even harder.
Yeah.
Bickford, same thing.
Like the tendrils come out and start
Oh yeah, yeah.
moving the body faster than the body itself could move.
Creature's digging in. He's going for gold.
Bickford does that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 thing where he starts to climb up the side
This
of
is
the wall.
There's
Now
a bank
he's
corner, yeah.
using his arms to just launch himself.
Yep, doing the gorilla running lunging thing. I love it.
Like a
Which means
sloth,
that
but
neither
like
one of you
I'm-
stands a chance of getting stopped. When you come flying around this last thing and there's just this shattered ice and a lit room in front of you, Creature, you tumble out the hole and smash to the ground. Bickford lands almost on top of you. It manages to roll to the side at the moment. The 2 of you sort of look up. Idicus, if you would.
What?
And that's where we're going to drop the curtain on tonight. Idicus sits in front of the 2 of you with a giant magical stick, looking as innocent as a robot-faced Warforged could possibly look.
And fuck.
And we will drop the curtain right there. It's a little early, but there's no way that wasn't the perfect spot to end it. So, I can see you. I can see the finger. Yeah.
Someone's grounded.
We will get to that next week.
Like you're just going to be put into a crate. That's it.
So the 3 of you are now together again. You're still missing Beowulf. There is no sign of your giant friend. And with that, absolutely, we will drop the curtain on this evening. Oh, that was fun. I had kind of a mid-level, funny, very serious game on Friday. I had a really serious game last night. And then a really funny game tonight. And I love what we are doing to this module. I just cannot believe how ridiculous it's getting. Thank you to chat for advertising stuff to yourselves. I appreciate that. It's stuff I probably would have forgotten. Come to the Discord and get all the information there. But once more around the room, thank you so much, Scarred. Creature, I know I keep reining you in, but it's making you be more creative, so I appreciate you bringing Creature to the show.
I still want to find out what that Dark God thing is going to do.
Oh, we're getting there. Yep. The portal's about to open up. The rest of you are going to be able to get to go in for a brief moment to see what's going on in the actual inner sanctum. But that's for next week. Thank you for joining us. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Idicus got away with it stone cold. There's no way anybody will ever figure out anything happened. Oh, except for maybe the big stick and the spider ichor and the bodies and the missing arrows and some other stuff. But you got Idicus isn't thinking that. Idicus got away with this stone cold. There's cookie dust on your chin and you're thinking they're never going to catch me.
It's the kid with the cupcake.
Yep.
Icing around
Yeah,
his
still
mouth.
got the icing. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
Dare
eat
you
that cupcake?
suggest that I ate those cupcakes?
Yes.
As you still have the wrapper in your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Solar
And like you're
Dasher,
standing
thank
with
you.
wrappers around you in a So
Thank you for being the serious one this evening. We got to do some very cool scenes and stuff had to get done, so that was kind of your job tonight. You gathered the absolute required information, and you got to add to your story in many different ways. And then in the end, you escaped with a price. That's called fail forward. That's what that is. But thank you so much for bringing Beowulf here and letting me do awful things to them all night. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me play him.
And ecstasy and bugbears seems like a really good mix, except for the bartender that has to deal with
A drug bear.
A drug bear.
There you go.
I love it.
here, there's no dare program. It's just bear.
Yeah.
And it has done exactly as well of keeping kids from taking drugs as the actual dare program.
Yes, and yeah, red and blue, they make you go faster and they make you go slower. A drug bearer wants a hug bear. Yeah, because that part of the ecstasy's kicking in too. Yeah. He's going to be looking for some favors at some
He just
point.
wants to cuddle, man.
Yeah, he just wants to snuggle. Anyway, speaking of which, I think it's only you left. Bison, thank you for agreeing to play stoned. Play a stoned character. Different thing.
Totally different.
Thank you for agreeing to both of them. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate it very much. I'm having a blast playing all these NPCs and having a good time. Tune in for our new shows starting next Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific and on Saturdays
Eastern,
instead
1
of the
p.m.
evening. Yeah, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m.
Central.
Eastern. And with that, 2 thank yous left. The chat. You guys are amazing. We were over 15 for the vast majority of the night. We held on to a large part of a raid, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you so much for those that hung around from that. I appreciate that more than you can imagine. Raids are famous for everybody shows up and everybody leaves, but you didn't all leave, so thank you. Thank you very, very much. We'll see you in a week, and we'll do this foolishness again. And between now and then, at some point, I will post this on YouTube. And when I do, and if you watched all the way to here, and that's you, please hit that like button, because I'm going to assume you did. Also, please hit the subscribe button, not because I'm begging for the subscriptions, but because it is the only way to get notifications of when I randomly post stuff over to YouTube that I should be doing on a regular basis, but simply do not. So that's all 5 of the thank yous. Oh, one more thank you this week, apropos to absolutely nothing. A humongous thanks to Roll for Damage and all the people that are part of the game that I was invited to play over there for the last night or Friday night and the next 2 weeks. I get to play a pissed off New York cop in the future, and I am having such a good time doing it. I've alienated the party. I've alienated the NPCs. I'm about to alienate our main source of information. So stay tuned for that next Friday. I will figure out how to host it on this channel, but really just go watch it on Roll for Damage and you can chat with us in their chat and I'd give them the views. So with that, there's only one thing left. Until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Night.
Nah.